Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market. We take a peek over there at the stock market, which is set to open up here in the next 4 minutes, along with taking a look at precious metals like gold and the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. We'll take a look over there at the United States financial news that's going on out there, or throughout the world, really just financial news, and then take a look over there at crypto news. And well, does it really matter what news we look at, whether it's front page of CNBC or front page of Bloomberg? The obvious thing is, we're at 60K. Well, what is today? It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. We like to have a good time here, guys. Hit the frogs.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I had to turn the audio up there real quick. I got lucky. I did not check audio settings before I started. There was a real chance there that I would have started this thing with my mic off and did that whole intro with no mic on. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Halfway through the week. And whoa, buddy, we have hit $60,000 over here for Bitcoin. We have crossed through all Fibonacci retracement levels. An absolutely astonishing sight to see over here in the cryptocurrency market. Certainly higher than my expectations could have been for Bitcoin in the environment that we're in all markets. But I'm not complaining. This has historically been moments in time that have been very positive for the remainder of the market, which of course is where I'm positioned. I'm an altcoin guy. So this is absolutely wild. totally wild to see it up above here. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin. We'll take a look at past cycles again. I'm not going to predict how high Bitcoin is going to go. There's so many things going on out there in the world. I'm just going to kind of be kind of an observer of Bitcoin and wherever it's deciding to go in here, but more so kind of watching for the elements that I care about in the things that I'm in. And that's going to be essentially, whenever that altcoin market has its chance to peter out, right? Once we see actual distribution or some sort show up here in Bitcoin. But the environment that we're in right now has historically been very, very positive for the altcoin market and the market in general, at least when we see Bitcoin do this. I tweeted out there this morning how unique of a moment this is for Bitcoin for 3 reasons, really just in general. One of them is being block reward halving. Once again, proving the block reward halving is not the catalyst. We've never seen the price this high pre-halving. It's kind of always been my thought that it's been more tied to markets. We know the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average has been in a new all-time high. I use napkin math here, maybe 80 days or something like that. Maybe 75 to 80 days it's been in a new all-time high. We have had the Dow Jones. But one of the things we've never had happen here for Bitcoin to do something like this is to be, 1, in a restrictive monetary policy, and 2, to not actually have true expansion happening in the stock market, where we really just have a select couple of stocks holding up the whole stock market, and whereas like 90% of the stock market's not doing much. However, what's the thing that it does have going for it? It's just time, right? It's just time. Again, this all reiterates the things that we talked about throughout the whole downturn in the market, is that this is not the top of the market. The top of the market was most certainly back in April and in May of 2021. And that's why we were able to notice all the bottoming structures in here coming all throughout here. Certainly much stronger than I could have anticipated. We're in some unique circumstances here with the stock market. So that's one of those things that's going to keep me on edge for a while when it comes to actual Bitcoin. But undoubtedly, what an exciting time for the whole market. So these types of times have really led to where things get a little bit nutty throughout the rest of the market. And just kind of examples of that and showing that and overlaying these things is that whenever we get back up into these areas, where are you? There you are. These have been kind of the catapults that actually get this altcoin market really starting to take off in here. No longer just crawling off there and getting up into retracement levels, but actually getting it to really start the catapult insanity. So whether or not Bitcoin is going to do that or not, if Bitcoin is going to go to all-time highs, which again, I'm going to remain indifferent on that. I'm willing for it to be distribution and we see a rally happen in the altcoins, or if it's going to go to all-time highs, go for it. That typically in these phases, when we get this parabolic, when we get this excited, we've got, 60 days maybe, right? 60 days, 90 days. And that's where all the crazy, all the everything happens. And then before we know it, in a blink of an eye, the whole retail crowd comes pouring in because they're getting the news narrative of it finally put into their face, and they end up being the next ones to end up buying the top. And that's just kind of how it's gone for me. I've been here since the spring of 2017, right at the tail end of the first alt season of 2017. So I've seen several of these many times, and I've seen when the financial media turns on the media marketing blitz, and if that's the case, usually the time it starts, the clock starts ticking. But this type of environment has certainly led to extreme excitement in the markets before. We'll see if Bitcoin is going to go for something like that. Either way, my positioning is over there, primarily over there in the altcoin market. I think if you ask Twitter, they'd probably think I'm just completely left behind. Bitcoin actually is my number 4 holding, and I'm actually pretty lucky that it even sits there at that. I have a lot of criticisms of Bitcoin. I'm not, the narrative doesn't sit right with me entirely. So the fact that I even have it, I'm kind of just lucky. But it's certainly exciting to see all retracement levels cleared, because these are the danger zones. And I get it on Twitter. It's up only until it's down, then it's down only, right? But getting through these levels, this of course is the scariest area when we get all the way back up in here. And for Twitter probably doesn't know this, that we've on this channel, of course, we've been bulls all the way up. Then as we get to these areas, this is called your third range boundary retracement level, and this is of course is the scary place. And to see it crack through is just absolutely astonishing. It's truly astonishing with these things going on and no expansion in the stock market. The thing that it does have going, though, is it's just on time for how long it typically takes. So is it the magic? Maybe. Is it ETF hype? If it is ETF hype, can you imagine what any other rumors of any other ETFs for any other coins would end up doing? I was thinking about that today when I was getting the kids to school. If that's the case, then could you imagine what would happen in other aspects too, if the market sniffs out any type of ETFs anywhere? But boy, what just an absolutely astonishing thing to see it happen. It's super exciting. And historically, the times where things get going, right? And so to kind of imagine that, we talk all about this. This has been Wyckoff accumulation over here in the altcoin market. We got the bottom of the altcoin market back in 2022. When we went through Wyckoff accumulation all down throughout here, right? We escape from Wyckoff accumulation, and then we sit in our sign of strength phase, right? Then what happens? Bitcoin goes breaking off into the all-time high, and then off and away the altcoin market goes. Well, what have we done? We've done Wyckoff accumulation all throughout here. You guys have seen it 100,000 times. There's your sign of strength phase. Is Bitcoin going to break into the all-time high right at the same spot? I'll take it. If it does, I'll take it. If it just distributes, I'll take it. But what a fascinating, exciting time in the market. One of the things that we've, of course, been watching over here for the XRP people out there is the timing of it, right? So these conditions, of course, are just favorable for altcoins in general to catch exit velocity. XRP has been no different. I'm always pretty critical of all the narratives, all the flip the switch, all the everything. We really just kind of need the environment to be out there in the whole market where the whole market is moving. There's excitement everywhere. There's liquidity flooding everywhere, and people are willing to take extreme risk, right? People are willing to throw their money around and do crazy stuff with it. We're in that environment. There's no question. We're in that environment right now. And so we've been watching the structures all throughout in here. And what was the last thing we're really kind of looking for is that. So yesterday, a little bit of my Bitcoin money, I went ahead and jammed it right here into XRP, even put a little bit of Ethereum in there, even though I'm super hesitant to let go of much of my Ethereum because it is my number 2 holding. XRP is my number 1. Ethereum is my number 2. Cardano number 3 with Bitcoin there at number 4. But we got our actual structure to show up in here. This is what we've then been looking for next. When we have seen this happen before, all things long Wyckoff accumulation, taking 1.5 years for Wyckoff accumulation in here on top of the support levels. Let's see, we are on the market cap here, right? Yeah, so we're on the market cap. We're on top of the support levels in here. Backtest it. We backtest it with as negative news as possible. Chris Larson gets hacked for $112 million worth of XRP. Boom, that slams the bottom. Looking for us to pull out of here. And the next phase was to get one more little push right back. And what do you know? We actually did end up getting it. So I'm on the seat of my pants that this thing might explode. Do I dare make the Epic Surge video title? Maybe. In the event that XRP broke down below 53 cents, that would cause some concerns in there. But because we shouldn't, which would be right over here, right? 52.5 cents. In the event that you did that, that would be ultimately unsettling and concerning, but because we shouldn't be. We should just be building a little bit of a flag here as Bitcoin is getting crazy, as the market is getting absolutely nuts, and we should be following closely behind. And while we're talking about XRP, of course, that really pertains to a lot of this market. I would not expect this to be an isolated event. That's not typically how these things go. It actually would probably be incredibly optimistic for just the whole altcoin market in general. And so we've got all the signs flashing in there when it comes to things like escaping over here after Wyckoff, after the sign of strength phase happening over here in total. Let's see if I have it over here on total too. Are you on here? There you are. All right. How many times have you looked at this? You've seen this 100 bajillion times in Markets in the Morning and in YouTube videos, right? We're creating exit velocity happening in here. This would not be isolated to XRP. It would be a broader move throughout the whole market in the event that we get it. So definitely exciting, but at the same time, there's all that overhang happening in there of being like, man, that thing is there, and there's no expansion in the market. And that's one of those reasons why it's like hard for me to sit here and be like, how high is Bitcoin going to go? I'll take anything that it'll give. The more money that floods into Bitcoin, the more money there is to spread around throughout the altcoin market for an absolutely epic event. But these things will still always be here, and not to be forgetting about them at this time. But it does appear that CNBC, Bloomberg, financial media, the marketing blitz is on. The boost is on. They typically don't do that until they've been given the signal, but we'll see if these things keep going. So even you can see their Dow falls for a third straight day, loses more than 200 points as traders await fresh data this week, right? So is that true? Yeah, so here we go. Dow is down 200 points, right? So extreme excitement in Bitcoin. These elements still exist. These are the different things. And like I posted in the tweet, the 3 things that have never happened before. Pre-halving, which I can mark that off half a second because I've never believed the halving had the event to do with it. It's always been the stock market. But the two big ones are the restrictive monetary policy, in which there's not extreme liquidity flooding into this market right now, just in general. And then the other one being that there's not expansion in the stock market. It's really being held up by just a couple of stocks. But once again, we've gone through this again, like looking throughout the past. Why does it always go revert to that one? There you go. 12 days for Dow Jones, new all-time high. 42 days for 42 days to hit the all-time high. Where is it? Oh, these are wrong. These are halving dates. Anyway, 12 days for an all-time high back in 2012 and 13. 56 days back in 2016 and 17, and it was actually 33 days over here in 2020 and 2021, whereas those dates were much further for the halving. These are halving numbers, and here is 84 days, 294 days, 224 days. Again, here you are getting back to the top. Again, it removes that fantasy. I talk about that a lot, the romance of it, with the whole block reward halving thing happening, and that being the correlation to causation factor of it all. The timing does not agree with that. But if you do look at how long it takes for the stock market, the longest we have ever gone was back in 2016 and 17, which was 56 days. Currently, right now, it's like 78 days in that ballpark, 75 to 80 days since the Dow broke out into the all-time high. Here you go again. Here you go again. But there you have it. The Dow, of course, is at these concerning levels, and I wish the best of luck for Bitcoin. It's not something to be sad about. It's exciting and nerve-wracking. I think I can show you why it's nerve-wracking. I think you all see these things and know that's why it has a little bit of an on-edge feel to it at the exact same time. But from a timing perspective, again, like you look to the things that what's different, and then you look to the things that what's similar. The things that were similar, of course, was the correction, right? This was during all of this, when the 12Kers are screaming, we're like, look, you have absolutely nothing to corroborate that we're going to 12K. We're still calling 12K down here in September and October of last year. You got nothing to do it, because even if you do believe that the block reward halving is going to be your catalyst, you've completed your correction, and because we've seen this exact thing happen back in 2014, right? These are the identical corrections happening in here. So that's the thing you have going for it, is that completed correction happening here. The other thing you have going for it is just the amount of time. And again, it really reverts back to all the things we talked about in 2022 and 2023. This was the top of the market. And you see that when you look at really all the other aspects of the market, like things like Litecoin, right? How much time has elapsed since the peak of the market, which ended up being here, right? That's the top, May of 2021. No new high here. You see that everywhere in the market. You can see how much time has elapsed in here. Again, it's another one of those things you have going for you, right? The amount of time that has elapsed in here. The story is the same for things like Dogecoin too, right? The amount of time that has elapsed in here. This is how long these things take. And having to go through all of that, rough rides, but this is the appropriate amount of time of how long it actually ended up taking. The things that are just very, very different are non-expansion in the United States stock market with restrictive monetary policy and lower liquidity. So those things are different from each past Bitcoin bull. And the other side of the argument, ETFs, right? Maybe, but hard to measure, right? Put you in the this time is different thing. And we are parabolic, so keep that in mind. We are parabolic. Hopefully it gets exit velocity. I know that's what everybody wants. either distribution or exit velocity. The main thing paying attention to for me, of course, is just going to be some type of signal happening in here of a further distribution and one more leg in the altcoin market. Otherwise, it's looking at, are we going to get something epic? I sure hope we do. But man, it is most certainly a wild time. And like we showed over there in the altcoin market, Wyckoff accumulation happening back here. We talk about there's two different forms of Wyckoff accumulation. Really, everything's the same. The only thing that's different is whether you get a last point of support or you get a spring. Here in 2022 and 2023, we get last point of support. In 2020, we get spring with COVID, right? Otherwise, they're the same exact thing. Here you go. You have your sign of strength phase happening in here. And then what do you have? You have Bitcoin going into the all-time high, and then the thing absolutely goes bonkers. So what do we have? We have all of our accumulation, your sign of strength phase emerging, Bitcoin trying, not there, but definitely heading towards it through all retracement levels. So for me, it's still just going to be looking for distribution. And if this thing exits, holy guacamole. Holy guacamole, right? So again, this is where my eyes and my attention are. You may have noticed 2 days ago I tweeted, it's waking up. XRP is waking up. This is the level that we've been looking for things to hold in. You guys have watched this. Every day we do talk about XRP and markets in the morning because it's been following a structure very close that we've been looking for. Backtest and then the Chris Larson. And then we did get our shift up, and then we did hold that support level that we were really looking for us to be able to hold, and then shift our way back up, behaving just as hoped and expected. But now comes the kind of the bull flag, fingers crossed, the explosion on out of there. All conditions that you look for in this market are there. And again, that's not just for XRP. These are the types of conditions that we cheer for the whole altcoin market. So definitely exciting. As for Ethereum, Ethereum's back at its 618 Fibonacci retracement level. So again, this is the third range boundary. I get it. People are going to be like, oh, no, it doesn't matter. They matter. Ethereum's got to get through that third range boundary. This can be an area of resistance. I am much more optimistic on Ethereum being able to get through it. But I have to treat it like a third range boundary still. And I get it. 5,000 people listening. You're going to hear it. Go post it. Twitter. I'm going to have to sell some Ethereum here because it's a third range boundary and risk management. That's how I have to do it. I get it. A lot of people scream at that. They maybe have entered into the market. You got to realize I've been here through all of this. I made all of these entries in here. You make a plan, sticking to it. That's what I've got to do. If it breaks through, I'll probably re-enter. I'm just willing to miss a little bit in here while catching the bulk of the move. And then I'm willing to re-enter it back in. So this is going to be kind of the area, but I'll be completely frank. I definitely thought Bitcoin was going to run into some problems. I'm way more optimistic on Ethereum having less problems, but it doesn't matter. It's still a third range boundary. All right. Looking at the Dow and the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 178 points to start the day. The NASDAQ down 108. So again, these things are at their 4.236 extensions. It's one of those things to say, hey, look, things are different. Things are different in the market. So just keep an eye on them. Dow down 179, NASDAQ down 117, S&P down 14 points. Leaders and losers of the day: Coinbase up, GE and Ford. Losers: United Health, Roblox, and Google. United Health down 4.5 points today. DXY was above 104 just a moment ago, now at 103.99. Still just meandering in here. We've been watching this one for a while. For those who just tuned in, we have 5,300 people in here. This is there's some excitement in there. We need to pull up the Fear and Greed Index. Let's take a look. What are we at? 82. We are at an 82. Fear and Greed. Let's take a look at Max, just so you can have an idea of Max. We are as high. Optimism is as high as November of 2021. The Fear and Greed Index is as high as the peak. So the peak came in at a 82. It might have been higher. The highest is showing me on this chart. I'm pretty much just, I'm on the other one, and I'm hovering on top of here. It was at like an 82 is the highest it ever got. And what are we at right now? 82. So 80, when we hit the top of the market in 2021, we had fear and greed of 82, and we are at 82 right now. Whether or not that is signal or not, time will tell, but that is where it is at. All right, here we go. Before we hop into the news, no doubt, just celebration of the fact that we're here. Again, for those tuning in, we have 5,200 people in here. They're going to say, what is this goofball nonsense? Well, it's Wednesday. So welcome to Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday.
People probably didn't. They say, what is this nonsense? I came here for something serious. What is this goofball nonsense? This is Wednesday. This is normal Wednesday stuff on markets in the morning. You got to understand, we went through the whole bear market here, right? We went through all of it. We had to cheer ourselves up a little bit and make like halfway through the week give a little bit of fun. Hey, at least we get it on today too, right? It's always nice when it's on a green day and it's not on a red day, especially a day like today. So if you enjoy Wednesday, hit the like button. Hopefully Wednesdays will now become a little bit more special to you. I always play that song for my daughter when I wake her up every morning. I don't do it on the live stream, but on Friday I do play her Rebecca Black's It's Friday, just for the great cringe of it. All right, let's head on over to financial news. As you can see, Bitcoin jumps above $60,000 for the first time since November of 2021. Bitcoin firm MicroStrategy pops 27% in 2 days as company's crypto stake hits $11 billion. Stock futures fall Wednesday as investors await fresh inflated data this week. I thought the inflation data wasn't coming out until the 12th. I'll pull that up on my other screen. Yeah, we'll look into that. Here, let's do this really quick. CME. Yeah, forget it. We'll look at it later. All right. So yeah, okay. Inflation data. I'll follow up on that. We'll get that for us next stream. Heading over there to Bloomberg. Bitcoin surges to $60,000 with enthusiasts eyeing record highs. The cryptocurrency last traded at this level in November of 2021. Crypto market cap swells to $2 trillion on the back of Bitcoin rally. All right, time to start paying attention to see if you get those phone calls and those text messages from your long lost step brother who like's been married 3 times and lives out in the boondocks and is like, hey, dude, I think I'm going to buy Doge again. Keep an eye out for those text messages. Those are typically concerning. The Big Take podcast, why big banks are doubling down on crypto. How do you profit from Bitcoin ETFs? Investors face dilemma. U.S. futures slip before economic data dollar gains. The big bond steepener is flopping as the Fed delays rate cuts. I'm going to pull up the CME futures here in a minute. All right, heading over to crypto news. There you go. Oh, I got it. Probability of a Fed rate cut, 97.5%, that we are going to be paused at the next meeting. Probability for futures, 82% probability that we will still be paused there in May, with only a 62% probability that we will cut in June. Again, we're going to be getting economic data on March 12th. That will be CPI. Anticipated that will probably be the bottom of inflation. That will probably be the marker of the bottom. Maybe it ends up being a 2.9 if we end up getting like a 0.2% month over month, but probably not going to be any lower than that after that, and probably going to start seeing CPI climb year over year unless if a massive deflationary event unfolds. All right. Bitcoin breaches $60,000 for the first time in over 2 years. Crypto recaptures $2 trillion market cap as Bitcoin climbs above $57,000. Jameson Lopp, skeptical of spot Ether ETFs. Bitcoin price prediction dilemma. Ex Hall of Fame. Baby AGI could be a reality in early 2025. Singularity Net founder. Solana outage raises questions about client diversity and beta status. Chinese ministry posts warns about fake digital yuan app. Ethereum price holds $3,100 as ETH futures open interest nears an all-time high. All in bits to launch governance blockchain ahead of Cosmos Hub fork. GBTC hits lowest ever $22 million outflow, raising hopes for end to Bitcoin bleed. Bitcoin rallies to 2-year high, but derivatives traders not betting on further gains. Interesting. Bitcoin pushes through 60K for first time since November of 2021. The rally continued Wednesday as the spot ETF continued to see massive inflow of fresh money. TON rockets nearly 40% after Telegram says it will share ad revenue via TON blockchain. The Telegram ad network will open to advertisers in March, founder Pavel Durov said in a broadcast on his official channel. Isn't that like 100% the definition of a security? Like, doesn't that meet exact definition of security? Like, exact. Okay. There you go. Bitcoin, $60,822. Green market out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and hop into the chat after a 30-minute monologue. Not bad. All right, cool. We try to keep these things at if it's your first time tuning in, we do try to keep these things at about an hour. So now we're just going to run through the chat, hang out with you guys, give you one more frog. If you don't like the frog, well, I apologize. That's what we do on Wednesday. So sorry, but definitely not sorry.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dude.
Alrighty, let's do this. Let's hop into the chat. We'll be a little bit more serious now. Not really. Actually gets weirder. Okay. Stakes at 136. Wait a minute. Stakes. What's going on here? You know what? I'll give you that. There is almost this little difference between 135 to 136. He says, I'm in disbelief. Thanks, Stakes. Jonas Fugalis gifted a BCB membership. Brother, thank you very much. BMGMD, member for 7 months with all the frogs. Thank you very much. And then Chris and Akumal, El Goto, thank you, brother, and dropped the huge super chat. Man, thank you, Chris. And then he followed it up with gifting out 10 BCB memberships. Thank you so much. 61K over there for Bitcoin. Let us go. Thanks, Chris. Last Hansen gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much. Proud father of 5. Do you know of a chart, member for 3 months, do you know of a chart that in the past was doing what today Bitcoin price is doing? A pattern or schematic behavior that we could speculate where Bitcoin might go? All right, so I don't have any speculation. I'm not going to make speculations on the top here. But like, what are things that you could say are just different about what is happening, right? And then like you can kind of zoom in on other stuff, but then you have to also like go back and say, but what is different too, right? When you go back and you look through the previous recoveries, right? You have super cycle recoveries and you have mid-cycle recoveries, right? And we've talked all about this. I just deleted it off of here. The super cycle of 2015 to 2021, right? That 2018 through 2020 is really just a pit stop along the way of what ended up happening. I better show this since we have so many people tuning in really fast. Hold on. Let's do that so you don't think I'm some nut job. Now we'll take everything off the screen. There we go. Okay. So that's a completed super cycle. Then you start your next super cycle, right? And this is actually the third one Bitcoin has ever done. And so even along the way, Bitcoin ends up stopping precisely where it should stop. And then it does the exact same range, right? And you have all the markers that happen in here, right? So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3 to retrace, 3 to retrace, A, B, C, A, B, C, then go off into the bull, go off into the bull, right? So then it comes into like what we talked about throughout the whole bear. What kind of correction are you looking for to happen in here? And that's why like it's just blatantly obvious the top is in here because you see all of like when you zoom out on the monthly time frame, yet all the indicators show it, right? That the top comes in here, right? You see everything fall off the cliff happening in here as it should have, right? And we, like I just showed with Litecoin, I showed with Doge, you can actually go through the whole altcoin market. It's 90% of it. It all tops there in April and in May. And then what does it end up doing? It ends up doing the exact same style correction to finish, right? So it tops in May, right? April and May, there's your top. Then it goes to the lows. And so deciphering this throughout the whole bear was the hard part, right? Trying to like come to the grips with it and be like, we actually did top in May and April. And that was real hard to figure that out and to come to those conclusions. But eventually we did. And that's why there was never going to be 12K, right? Not from down here. If we're going to get into a retracement and reject and roll over, sure. And that's been my case, sure. But not from here. We had to head back to retracements first for any of that to have any type of validity to it. Otherwise, complete correction happening in here then rolls its way back up, right? So if you kind of go from time-based in there, and you'd pretty much have to believe it's going to start a whole new super cycle, right? That kind of have to be your case if you want that, right? I'm not going to commit to that. Let's do this. Just to kind of give you a clue. Just time-based, right? There you are. Now, the problem with it is that in every recovery, you always have backtests of levels, right? And we even experienced that all throughout April, May, June, July, August, September, and October. The whole thing was a 200-day something range. Let's see if I still have that up in here on Bitfinex. I haven't messed with this chart, so hopefully it's still there. There it is. Okay. We have all the markers happening in here, right? We escape, right? But the thing that's different is there's no backtesting happening in here. So you typically have backtesting in any type of recovery that ends up happening. Even in 2020, 2019 and 2020, this was an escape with no backtesting. And then eventually it did have to come back and backtest it. But that also was consistent with what happens in these, right? Like it was expected that you should have a backtest to pull you back, ABC backtest, full extension, and then a completed correction, right? So that's what you have, right? Time, everything on time. So, you know, you have that structure that you could look at. Like the problem I have with it, of course, is just these things, right? Expansion in the stock market. There's always going to be expansion for any true super cycle of Bitcoin. They've been accompanied by expansion times throughout broader markets. But if you're just like, I don't care about any of that stuff, I'm just looking at charts. I'm just looking at super cycles, and super cycles is all I care about. You know, you got that. One of the things, though, is just that, though, is that in each time there are back tests. And like, I get it. Crypto Twitter wants to think, oh, we killed the bear. you go back into any type of retracement, the back tests eventually come, right? So even in these circumstances in here, right, this thing goes to a 618 retracement level and the back tests end up happening for each prior level. Notice how every level ends up being back tested as you have a consistent climb out happening in there. Every time things get parabolic, it ends up pulling back to back test. Parabolic pulls back to back test the previous range breakout. That's something you don't have here. So that's something that's a little, you get to all the retracement levels, you get to break through them all, and then there's just no back testing of previous supportive ranges. So you have that's a little different than all of your recoveries historically for Bitcoin at the exact same time. And it leaves you scratching your head a little bit of, dang, it hasn't back tested anything. And it's happening during moments like this, right? Is it starting some new cycle on its own? Bitcoin ETFs, LFG. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, I'm not comfortable being like, hey, this thing is exit velocity, just because we haven't had any of those things happen. There haven't been any of those back tests happening there, and we have these other things overhanging at the same time. But if it does, and even if it goes into distribution, historically, these are pretty optimistic and exciting times for the altcoin market. We essentially have people with a lot of gains, who have made a lot of money, and who are willing to take extreme risks in this type of environment, and throw their money around in the hunt for gains. Those are historically very positive times just for crypto in general. So it's definitely an exciting time, but these are definitely things where like all these boxes here, these are all drawn way before we end up going into exit velocity, because that's what should happen. We should escape one range and backtest a previous range. There's been none of that. Right? There's been no testing. However, if you wanted to say, hey, what's like another thing we could look at to be like, maybe it's escaping. And again, I'm going to reiterate, all this stuff is pretty important to kind of be like, dang it never back tested, right? So is it going to, whatever. Okay. If you were like, where can you find something that looks similar to what we have now, and kind of similar to the conditions that we're in currently right now? It would be like looking at Bitcoin in this type of manner. Let's go to the 8 hour here. Something we talked about months ago when the stock market went for its escape, right? So essentially treating these two events as the same two events happening right in here, right? Before Bitcoin gets going and then it breaks through its all-time high over here, right? Essentially treating these events as the same, right? Boom, it breaks out. Boom, it just keeps on grinding, right? Grind. All this stuff happening in here, right? Where does the stock market break out into its new all-time high? Dow Jones. It was on December 12th. Somebody correct me. Is that right here? Yeah, December 12th, right? Where does it break out here? Let's go ahead and add the Dow. Dow breaks out here, right? So if you use those two examples to say, hey, there's like similar conditions happening in here where like this, and then this thing, right? And then the Dow breaks out, and then your X amount of days after the Dow breaking out, this is Bitcoin then breaking out into the new all-time high. 32 days later, here we go. We can actually measure the number of days now. 76. Oh, wait, one more. 78. So we're at 78 days since the Dow is broken out into the new all-time high. When we look at it from just like the chart perspective, and you look at it in that manner, uncannily similar, right? Like just remarkably. The difference is we had expansion happening through the whole stock market during this time. And we don't have that right now. And that's the element that's missing. Now, is Bitcoin being some type of leading indicator of expansion coming to the United States stock market, or, breadth opening up? I don't know. Or is that the breadth not there kind of little bit of a warning sign. That's kind of the thing to figure out, right? Is the breadth a warning sign, or is Bitcoin being a leading indicator of it? And right now you don't have that answer, and that's the thing. But that if you wanted to look at it from that element, there's those similarities, right? And then again, it reiterates that same thing that we just talked about in regards to time. The peak of the market was April. Doesn't matter what anybody says, you're on time, right? So you're on time. So if that wants to be your case, again, I'm not saying this is. I'm really going to refrain from being like any of that right now. But if you wanted to say, hey, can you find things that are similar? This would be things that are similar. This would be things that are similar. The elements that are just missing were back tests, right? Any type of back tests and any type of expansion that actually was happening in the stock market at that time. Remember ARK, all the craziness, everything's moving, and how right now it's just really, really tight on just a couple of assets. It's very different. So there you go. Hope that got you, brother. CP Nasty, still the GOAT. BCB riding alts to fail. Yeah, let's go. CP Nasty, FYI, your wife's a baddie. Good thing you got her before you got XRP Rich. Yeah. My wife is a baddie. I'm a lucky man, for sure. Crypto for Sweden. What a freaking ride we've been on, BCB, from the bottom all the way to this. Hope you're well and keep rocking, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's funny, though, because going through the whole bottom, spicy BCB. No, this thing's going to go up. No, it's going to go to a retrace. And no, it's not. We're going to 12K. Can you imagine if the whole time I was just like, no, we're going to all-time highs. Poor Credible Crypto. Man, he did it the whole time, right? He did it the whole time. I mean, we're not there yet, but definitely it's gotten through all the levels I thought it would. But yeah, wow. What a ride. Brandon Grinstead, monthly closes tomorrow. Could be massive. Still of the belief that alts start to move once all-time highs are met. Well, oh wait, am I still in the belief that alts want? Okay, are you still on the belief that alts start to move once all-time highs are met for Bitcoin instead of retraces now? I mean, it appears that way, right? Like, obviously, we're getting through it all. In any circumstance, this is like the more optimistic situation, right? And we've talked about that a lot. This is a more optimistic situation for this to be occurring than stalling out, because then you just open up the door of optimism that this thing has more than a retrace into it, right? You open up the door of optimism of being like, could expansion happen here? Right? Could markup really happen here, rather than being like, I feel really confident retraces are. Obviously not, right? Is the third range boundary still going to be a concern? Of course, it always is. But it opens up that door for more, right? A lot of the altcoins have already gotten moving, right? And that's the thing, just leading up to this, the months leading up to this, the options out there for like the really high development stuff, those options have gotten a lot more limited on stuff that hasn't already taken off. Kind of that opportunity to grab them 200% ago is gone. There's still some out there, but a lot of them have really already gotten away, right? But yeah, I mean, if it goes into an all-time high, the things that have happened in this altcoin market throughout history have been face melting. So we'll see. Not just, hey, barely. I mean, face melting. Brandon, thank you very much. Forrest Hayden, Frog Friggity Frog BCB, thank you very much. And I'm finally caught up to when the stream started. You guys have been very generous. I sincerely appreciate it. Again, just to remind you, like, if you have look how many people we have in here, 5,100. If you donate like $2 and you're like, hey, can you look at my altcoin? It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Even if it's $50, of course, I sincerely appreciate the support. But I do always try to respect the audience in here, the number of people we have in here. We're not going to pull up individual altcoins today. Follow the Hat, gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much. And Forrest, thank you. He was very generous. Frog Friggity Frog. Let's go. KB, we gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you so much. So did Andy Philpott gifting 5 as well. Thank you guys. Follow the Fiat C19 here. What an insane journey. Bless you, bro. Yeah. We've been here. We've been through. Do you know what the altcoin market cap was at that time? Like, I've been making YouTube videos since then. Others, like that here, you want to hear how crazy it is. Others, $6.78 billion. It's 263. Right, we're making YouTube videos back in here. 6.92. 6 billion. Unreal, right? Stakes at 135. Stakes, do you have competition? Is there someone else who created a stake? Somebody made stakes at 136 and your stakes at 135. Who's doing it? Somebody's doing it. CZ Binance watches your stream and videos and push the Bitcoin price beyond the 786. CZ Binance does follow me. When I posted this I posted a long thread. Maybe it wasn't a thread. Maybe it was just this chart alone. And CZ Binance had commented on it. Maybe back. It was shortly before. It was literally like within 3 to 4 days before the announcement of like the charges against Binance and like the $4 billion settlement or whatever it was. It was 4 days before that. I had posted this on Twitter or something, and he was commented on it and is following me. So. Maybe I should just say, oh no, Bitcoin's going to go down. Don't push it up, CZ. Don't push the price higher. No. All right. Here we go, 61.3. Sheldon says, do you ever consider inflation into fib retracements? With inflation up 14% since the last time we were here, could the target be 14% higher? Random thought. Well, with inflation up, the target would, whatever your target is, would actually be 14% lower. And not necessarily 14, because 14 up isn't the same as 14 down, right? If inflation is up 14%, I know that's 13.85. Price is down 12.31, right? So same concept to the other side, right? If inflation's up 58%, then the price target's actually 36% down. So you have to kind of take those factors into hand. But that is what we saw in 2021, right? It was based on market caps. It was based on inflation for both Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Ethereum Classic. They were all precision nails for their market caps, and inflation did matter. Don Aarons. New member. Welcome. Thank you all for tuning in. 5,224. If you could hit the like button. I, of course, appreciate Super Chats, guys, and that is totally not necessary. It's so generous of you, but liking the videos, #1 way to support, and I greatly appreciate it. Don, thank you. Jacob Gormy, Arweave broke out last night, finally breaking position with Solana, and it is mineable. Read-only storage version. Okay. Solana transaction uses Oregon. Congrats. Okay, cool. Congrats to Arweave people. Drew Lander, if Bitcoin were to hit that if XRP were to hit that $9 area, what would you suspect the XRP dominance to be at that time? Thanks for all you do. Top notch. I really wouldn't even speculate on it. Like, to be frank, like, it just wouldn't matter to me. I don't in any way think it would be an event that would be isolated. Because that's not the historical behavior of the market. XRP's price doesn't go due to some switch being flipped or some type of secret on secret. It has always just been liquidity floods in the market. And if the whole altcoin market gets moving and gets shuffling up, that's when it's happened. Now, in 2020, 5 days after the Bitcoin broke into its all-time high, the SEC came in and chose XRP specifically and said, not today. Boom. Lawsuit against Ripple gets delisted from all the exchanges. That was a freaking nightmare. Don't happen again. How about some epically positive news at the all-time high this time for XRP? That would be an absolute delight. But we do have all the conditions in here, right? You have lots of positive sentiment, lots of excitement throughout the market. It's what you look for. But dominance wouldn't matter to me because I don't think it'll be isolated, right? Like I don't think it's going to swallow the market. And I think it's, the whole market tends to move together and XRP tends to move with it. So Abram Flynn, new member, welcome. Pat gives 10 memberships, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pat. Hugh D says, what's the difference between jam and marmalade? I can't go bazonkers and marmalade profits into XRP. Oh boy, are we doing dad jokes? Mr. Nobody, thank you. Jay Wiles, my 25% BTI hedge accumulated from 48 to 54 got wrecked, but now I'm feeling kind of money with 75% long alt bag from the lows. Thanks, BCB. Let's go. ZW, hey BCB, long-time lurker. 8 minutes ago, he made a case for 25 with XRP, with a contracting triangle. Is that still valid? I always make fun of that. Everybody doesn't watch the video to be like, hey, look, it's $9. If we get $9, $10, I'm 65% out. If it goes beyond that, and it does a contracting triangle that goes all the way to 25, 27, something like that, dude, I'll take it. Number one priority, and I got to make sure I'm very clear. I'm cheering for $9, $10. If that happens, anything beyond that, just absolute icing cherry on top. Mr. Nobody, 12K. I was typing backwards today. Okay, I saw the last one was retracted. Thank you, sir. Snoopy IRL. Thank you, ZW. What get to the first one. Let's see what happens there. Snoopy IRL. Milestone 4 hit. Also, thank you, BC, for being one of the few to teach me something on your course. Happy Frog Day. Thank you very much, Snoopy IRL. Member for 4 months. Angela, Bitcoin ETF people can't rotate into altcoins, right? How will this affect Altseason? Thanks for all you do. There's lots of money here. There's lots of money here. It's just a narrative. Oh, no, all the money is locked into ETFs. Believe me, all the money is right here. All the money is right here. Stakes at 136. This is the market condition. It's a good narrative to FOMO you into Bitcoin, is what it is. Stakes at 136. This is the market condition, and surely should be enough liquidity to take XRP to 9. Yeah, this for any type of extreme breaks, opens up a door of optimism to get it this high. More money in the market, more money to slosh around. Crypto Student 99. Can you help us look at how much new cash flow is coming in versus existing funds moving around? Thank you for all that you do. Yeah, you'd really just see that in total, right? How much is the total market cap of crypto rising? That's it. So this is the whole new market, right? So one thing you wouldn't want to see is Bitcoin. Bitcoin in blue, in purple, rising. You wouldn't want to see the orange, the altcoin market. You wouldn't want to see this falling. And then in the candlesticks, seeing the total market cap of crypto staying the same. Because that would mean Bitcoin's rising, and what it's doing is it's pulling all the money out of altcoins and jamming it into Bitcoin, and the total market cap is staying flat. But that's not the case, right? Total market cap's rising, altcoin market cap rising, Bitcoin market cap rising. It's all rising. So total. TOTAL. That is your total market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market. Right. What you wouldn't want is for this to be flat while Bitcoin's rising. Instead, money coming into the market. Thank you, Crypto Student 99. Joe Schmidt, member for 6 months. Hey, BCB, I'm just a lurker that has your back. Thanks for all that you do and helping us keep cool during these times. You rock, dude. Thank you very much, Joe. 4 months. How far behind am I? Oh my. I'm very far behind. Okay. I'm 25 minutes behind. Crypto Pigeon. Yo, BCB. Pigeon is very excited. Oh boy, I'm prepared. Here we go. 2017 XRP bull flag prior to explosion was like a day on 4-hour charts. Could we expect similar or just wait and see? I think he's asking how long could you flag in here? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to flag for a week, if it's going to flag for 2 weeks, or if it's going to flag for 5 minutes and it's out of here. Don't know, bro. Is it a day? Is it 3 days? Is it a week? I don't know. I don't know. Russell says, how would you execute a re-entry into ETH? On the first candle close above 786, or would you wait for a retest of a certain level? Love you, BCB. Yeah. So re-entry, like if I get an opportunity to take a little bit off, I am going to take a little bit off in here. If it's able to close back through here, if it even just goes through significantly, probably if it escapes that level right over there, probably at 41.39, it'll probably just trigger it to re-enter and then set a stop below here. If it's in full-blown breakout, it should just keep going. Eric Martinson, happy birthday, Texas Takeover from 702 crew. And like in normal circumstances, like in any of these other ones, probably not so much, because these getting through each one of these isn't normally like full-blown breakout, don't come back. But in these areas right in here is where you can have full-blown breakout, no re-entry, right? Where it gets through here and you're like, oh, well, I'll just buy it on the back test. That doesn't always come on these ones. And there's a reason why the 618, 702, 786, it's always the third range boundary concern zone, because it's either the complete rejection zone or the bazooka zone where things get absolutely nuts. That's why in the intro you see, blockchain backer character holding it and getting through the 702 and boom, shooting to the moon, because you can have escape velocity happening from these levels. And we see that quite often. And I think even just Bitcoin's a decent example in here, right? Getting through those retracement levels, and it has not turned back. It has not given, right? Gets through, and it hasn't turned back. And that, we see that happen all the time on all kinds of charts. Remember the guys who were here in 22.5 days, right? Right? Boom. And that happens over and over again. So you'll find that on Bitcoin, you'll find that on XRP, you'll find that on lots of assets. Let's look at the Ethereum. I want to do this. And this is the $1 million question. This is the $1 million question. I've done one Ethereum video in the last year, just one. And we're talking about right in here. And the $1 million question is if this is what we're doing in Ethereum. Right? In here, it escapes, but we don't go breaking back down below, right? You get your back test, obviously, on a 702, but we don't go breaking back down below. But the question is this a full-blown super cycle for Ethereum? And I do understand crypto Twitter is going to say, F the bear, he's selling some at the third range boundary. But to understand that if Bitcoin's escaping, if breadth opens in the market, which I don't know, that's why I have to do something at the third range boundary, that if this is doing its own super cycle again, and that's what we've talked about through the whole bear, and this is going to be the same thing like the guy who just said, do you still think it's going to go to 25? It's not saying I think it. It's just showing it to you of how the price has behaved. And it's not to pick on the guy who said, do you think we're going to 2025? I love you. You're a supporter of the channel. I get asked the question a lot, and it's a lot of times just skipping through, well, the things that we have to talk about first, right? First, we got to get through a third range boundary. Then you've got to get through a 4.236 extension, blah, blah, blah. This has been, like we showed with Bitcoin just a moment ago. Please still be on here. Is it really not on here? Okay, we've obviously deleted it. Super cycles, right? I'm going to show it. Okay. Right. This is the third time Bitcoin has done this. This whole thing from 2015 all the way to 2021. That's the third time it's done it. Ethereum only has one historically, and it's really from its inception here, right? 2015 up and away. This whole thing was essentially identical to the first leg for Ethereum. And that's the big question on, is Ethereum actually getting exit velocity here? So I talk about it that I have to do something at the third range boundary, but I'm willing, if we can scoot through that 786 to re-enter it, because I can see potential for something bigger happening for Ethereum. But I have to treat the third range boundary as a third range boundary, as a retracement. And I do understand there's a lot of negativities of thoughts on Ethereum. I completely understand that. But the cold hard reality is the crypto market is essentially built on Ethereum, really just built on it. It's not disputable. The whole thing's built, all of it, almost. Obviously not all of it, but a lot of it. So I'm not sitting here with nearly the eye of skepticism of like I have on Bitcoin, as I do with Ethereum. And incredibly optimistic on XRP as well, but also optimistic on Ethereum too. But as it gets to a third range boundary, I've got to treat it as such. Okay. Eric Martinson, happy birthday, Texas Takeover from the 702 crew. Poo poo. Pew pew. Not poo poo. All right, Eric, thank you. BT7274, lurker since day one. Thank you for all of your content. Thank you very much. Dude here, oh my God, I actually have a brother-in-law that lives in the middle of nowhere, and he bought Doge in 2021. I'm dead serious. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Watch out for those guys. If that starts happening, let me know. We all have been here long enough. We all need to be talking to each other about that, saying, hey, dude, I'm getting lots of text messages right now from like my grandma who's buying SHIB, or she thinks Pepe is the new thing. We got to keep each other in the loop on that. I fortunately have not gotten any of those yet. Texas Takeover with the frogs. Thank you, Texas Takeover. Where are you in the chat? I need to see you in the chat, dude. I don't even know. Are you a mod, Texas? I don't know. CK Dumas. New member. Welcome. Big D says BCB Ochivo. All right, Eric Martinson, welcome, new mods. Hit that like button. There he is. There's Texas Takeover. And there you go. All right, thank you, Big D. Thank you, CK, and thank you, Eric. Kushov Lakshman, can we revisit the Mega Moon Boy price of $20 range target for XRP? Does ETH need to hit a 4.236 extension for that scenario to play out? I would think this would have to be the whole thing going on. And that's what I also explained in that video. And I'm like, by the way, you have to understand Ethereum has to do something like this. For any of that to be even have a remote chance of being possible, Ethereum has to do this. So make sure to watch the Ethereum video. 50,000 people watch the XRP video, 20,000 people watch the Ethereum video. I'm like, but what all the other content creators in the world go make YouTube videos about my XRP YouTube video, but then don't cover the Ethereum stuff because it's not appropriate to talk positively about Ethereum in the XRP community. I understand there's a lot of negativity. I own Ethereum. I think it's dependent on Ethereum. Okay. Okay. Moving on. we need to see the whole market go bazonkers, absolutely crazy for anything like that to happen. Otherwise, like, and everybody always counts their eggs before they hatch. They want to count how much money they have in their pocket before anything ever happens. And then what happens? The rug pull before it ever ends up getting to where you think it's going to end up going, and you don't get any of it. Right. And it's like, people are so mad. Oh, you're taking some profits on Bitcoin. It's like, dude, I've been in here since the bottom, bro. Where were you when you were screaming 12K, man? Go watch all my YouTube videos. Go watch everything that I've said on here. This was my plan. I bought it. I diamond handed it. I did not laser eyes, but I diamond handed it for sure. And then this was my plan. I sold some. I'm an altcoin maxi. Deal with it. Right. Like, I'm going to put some money in my pocket because you guys were, some of you guys were just trash at the bottom. Toxic trash. I'm getting paid. And I'm going to keep getting paid on the way up. And it's not going to be, everything all at once. It's going to be, money's got to get pulled gradually. Get paid, people. Get paid. Mets Media says, we want the frog. Will XRP go higher than $7 if Bitcoin creates? Everybody's like, dude, guys, get one step at a time. One step at a time. Like, get the altcoin market to get moving in a big way first. And like, see where the altcoin market is at first before that. Right? And very clear, if we get all-time highs for XRP, if even $9 does get offered, I am going to anger the whole world and be selling some XRP. It doesn't matter if I tell you ahead of time right now. People are going to yell, you're wrong. It's going way higher. You're selling too early. And it doesn't matter. It is a victory. It's a win. That's it. Right? All right. Mets Media, thank you very much. And I'm not yelling at you guys, by the way. I'm yelling at the world. Jay Wiles, can we get just a little bit moony and show the Eth God candle? Oh, okay, I already did. We already saw it. Been here for years. Thanks, BCV. All right, we saw it. Do I say the number out loud? I don't think I want to say the number out loud. Do I say it out loud? No, we don't say it out loud. Too many people watching. Hey, what? Imagine every video after this, every live stream out there. Hey, do you still think $48 trillion per Ethereum is possible? Or no? Okay. Go watch the Ethereum video. Jay Wiles, thank you, brother. Holy Schnikes gifted a BCB membership. Thank you, sir. Corey, I know it's not your base case, but if Ethereum goes into its own super cycle, that would probably last for a year or longer. I don't know how long it would last. And the altcoin market tends to move very quickly, and it's over before you know it. And I don't think we have ever had any type of significant alt season last longer than 90 days. I don't think it's ever happened. And that's to keep in mind, right? Never more than 90 has happened. Gator gifted 5. Corey, thank you very much. Gator gifted 5 BCB memberships. Gator, thank you, sir. 702 crew, man, thank you. Chris M, I've now withdrawn enough to keep my head while I watch the rest ride. Thanks for keeping me sane while I threw money into oblivion. I love you, buddy. Yeah, and that's a lot of it, right? Most people kind of patient. So the typical mindset is to wait for the dust to settle, wait for things to become positive, and then throw money in later when everything's looking clear, sunshines and rainbows, right? And my strategy is I actually use profanity words, and I won't say them on here, but I act. I just talk about having to have kind of a balance of 4 different things: 25 smart, 25% being smart, 25% being stupid, 25% being grounded in reality, and 25% conspiracy theorist. And when to tap into those more than others, and be like, am I leaning too much on, am I being too smart right now and I just need to just be kind of dumb? Or am I being too dumb when I actually need to smarten up? Or is my tinfoil hat on a little too much and this is all just kind of normal stuff? Or do I need to be like, you know what, this isn't what it is. I actually believe this is not true. Conspiracy theory, right? And like there's those times down in the lows, and I know this because I did a whole emotional log on it on 2018 and 2019, and I shared all of that with you guys here in 2022 and 2023, my emotional log from 2018 and 2019. And what I was doing then, like absolutely tapping into the stupid when we were deep down in the bottoms, just throwing money into the market, and it felt so terrible. It felt so dumb. And that really panned out in 2018 and 19, obviously heading into 2020 and 2021. And here in 2022, it's been the same story. Throwing money in, feeling really dumb, and it not feeling good. And then when things get back up, getting to take some of that back and like get the bank accounts back to being like, okay, there's stability over here now. But most people don't do that, right? They sell the lows, they wait for things to come back, and they buy prices for higher. And it's just this endless loop over and over again of buying high, selling low, buying high, and taking some money off the table here. It feels good, man. It feels good to put a little bit back in the pocket and back into the bank account after everything of 2022 and 2023. So congrats to you. Chris, yeah. Thanks, brother. Jaws Murder, very generous. Thank you very much, man. He says, BCB, thank you. You never let ego get in the way of the data you present, right or wrong, about where the market ends up. I don't know of any other person in this content space that presents and actually teaches their position review. Big up, all the way up. Legend. Thanks, Matt. Everything that I do on the channel, I try to explain it in an easy, understand way. You could see why I see what I see. There's never, ever anything in here that is like, here's my big secret that I have that I'm hiding from you, and I am a guru. It is always, here's everything, and here's exactly why. You could see what I see. Think what you think. This is what I think about it. And here's exactly why. And I show it all to you. And it's, take with it what you will. Josh, thank you. Oh, member for 2 months. Hey, BCB. Can you look at if retail is participating yet? Everything I look at shows no retail yet. YouTube stats, Google Trends thing. Yeah, we got 5,000 people here in the live stream, but that is likely just due to extreme price volatility. We tend to see that, but this is an exceptional amount of people in the live stream right now. And we're at 4,800 right now. I think we tapped out at like 51, 52. Being at an hour and 16 minutes and still having 48, that's a tremendous amount. Markets in the morning is typically about 1,800 to 2,200 people in markets in the morning. So this is more than double. I haven't been doing as many YouTube videos just from a lack of time. I do have a plan on that, on how to free up my time to make it so that I can do more videos, but it's just like a work in progress. So I don't have that stat to be like that. But certainly, yeah. I mean, I don't think we have, and I'd have to go maybe look at other YouTubers. Probably other YouTubers are the right ones to ask. How are your stats doing? I don't know. I don't really pay attention to them anymore. I've hit all the milestones that I hope. I don't ever anticipate I'll be get the gold plaque, right? I don't ever anticipate that I'll get the million, and I don't want to. I don't know. I don't ever plan on striving for it. Hard enough to get to where it's at right now. Considering going 4x that or 3x where we're at right now. I don't know. So maybe if I look closer, but no, I wouldn't say in any way that my views are way higher than what they've been. But maybe that's changing right now, right? Because yesterday was really high viewership. Today's really high viewership. Maybe it is changing. I don't know. I mean, I did see my Twitter payout they pay Twitter. It like doubled. You used to only get about $13 per month. I think I got like $28 last month. So I may just be retiring due to Twitter. Oh boy, Jaxer, here we go. Dang, my frog just jacked my car and got it towed. All right, that's it. I got to get one of those mixers where we hit the button and it's just like... I'm sure my wife is just losing it and laughing in the other room. I'm brutal. At dad jokes. I hurt Eric's feelings. Eric Martinez. I hurt his feelings. I didn't laugh at his joke. All right, Jaxer, thank you. Brutal, thank you. Jaws. Also, it's my birthday. Can you give a shout out to Joey Papa Tommy B, and Evangelia. They are listening to you every day. What's up? Joey, Papa, Tommy B, and Evangelia. Thanks for listening to the show. And happy birthday, Jaws. And thank you for the super chat. Come and see Jesus. BCB, are you sure about ETFs? Liquidity incoming? I don't know what you mean. Thank you very much. Come and see Jesus. Kamardi Peterson. Any chance Tezos goes to $20? Right. So I've done obviously a lot of write-ups over there on Substack. This one's funny because this was the most recent one in there. Talking all about this market, and the optimistic view is that this the marker of big trouble for our market came once the Federal Reserve actually started to cut rates. The other marker of trouble is once gold started to truly break out. Neither of those things have happened yet, and in those trick rallies, they kept going until the Ellens became present. We haven't seen either of them yet. It doesn't mean they will with certainty be the markers that trouble is here, like if a black swan event emerges. But to be true to the data, those elements mark the trouble that had begun, and we just haven't seen either of those things happen. Also, technically, the stock market is in a new all-time high. It's been 62 days. If Bitcoin is going to follow, it's due now. And what do you know? Definitely catching me more by surprise. Now meant now. And this was the last newsletter that was put out. But I write a lot of it over here on blockchainbacker.substack.com, and I've gone through all the data of past cycles in crypto in 2018, 2017, and the cycles of 2020 and 2021 to look at those altcoins. And the stark difference between 2021 to 2017 was activity levels, primarily development activity levels. So Tezos doesn't really show up on a lot of the lists. So I don't know if Tezos is just going to retrace. Also, Tezos was very dismal in 2021. It didn't do anything. It just kind of kept grinding sideways and then fell down. And so I don't see it on any of my lists. So it's, right. We only had 22% of coins touch an all-time high in 2021. And what were those factors that were common amongst most activity levels? I just don't see it on my list. Craig Tilbury, hey BCB, I've heard some speculation that there may not be as much rotation from Bitcoin into alts because a lot of the Bitcoin being traded as ETFs. Well, guys, that's what we all saw the meme yesterday. Of course, they want you to think that. This is what happens every time. Bitcoin gets away, it becomes FOMO. There becomes, oh no, it's never going to rotate. It's all in the ETFs. It is not in the ETFs. Look at the volume on Coinbase. The money is all there. Nothing has changed. You'd have to assume, logically think about it. Where is the money? It's all still here. There's just different products out there now. It's all still here. What does everybody do? Like if they have Bitcoin sitting in their ledgers, where does it go? Do they send it to the ETF people? And then the money gets sold there, and then they don't, that money can't be rotated because it's stuck over there? No. All these people who have been here, they've got real Bitcoin. There's only a small group of people over there that own these ETF things. But people can come over here and sell their spot Bitcoin all day. Yeah, so it's a narrative. But it's a good one. It's a good one to convince people you gotta buy Bitcoin. Dump everything, buy Bitcoin. Tall Dallas Gal. Again, we appreciate you of your time and your dedication. Stay blessed. Thank you. And Craig is very generous. Appreciate it, brother. I'm definitely not worried about it at all. And Tall Dallas Gal, I hope you are doing well. And thank you very much. She's been here since maybe 2019. B, hit the like button every day. Thank you very much. We're at 2,300 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. Thank you. Ilya loves Chio. Do XRP, TARM, and make all the dad jokes. Let's see how XRP is doing. Is it still holding up? It's still just holding, right? It's doing exactly what we want. Now we're just waiting. We're waiting for explosive moves. All right. So if this thing goes below 52, we'll just say 52. If it goes below 52, whoa, But otherwise, right now, all the things we've talked about for months on end, right? Fling it back down here, everything that has happened. What do you know? You get the surge in Bitcoin right when we're supposed to go. So exciting for sure. Matt, member for 8 months. Thank you. Awesome to be part of history here with y'all. Thoughts on silver breaking out in 2024? Rotation from alts to a metal market. First thing, like thinking of Bitcoin. Thinking of gold as like Bitcoin, right? Gold tends to be the marker, right? The gold tends to send the signal, and then silver follows along with it later, right? And silver is way more volatile. The thing about metals, right, is when you have expansionary periods in the stock market, where the stock market is truly breaking out, right? Metals tend to fall. Metals tend to fall hard and enter into bear markets, both silver and both gold. During periods like we're in right now, where you have this really high federal funds rate, and you're not seeing expansion, right? And that's one of those things that is kind of a signal that there's not expansion happening in the market, is because gold is holding up so well. If the Fed rate starts getting cut and then we see gold breaking out, then I would be kind of like, all right, there's some optimism for silver. If Bitcoin truly is going for out of the zone, right, and it's heading to the upside, and it's going to escape here, and then if expansion is going to happen in the market, where the breadth opens up in the United States stock market, metals will probably get decimated in that, right? And truth be told, we should probably be cheering for that, right? I mean, I don't think anybody truly wants an environment of this. I don't think anybody truly wants that, right? And if the Fed starts cutting, right, like these environments, right? And if the Fed starts cutting, they're having to cut because everything's hitting the fan, and then we get looser monetary conditions, and people flock to gold, flock to silver, and metals in that environment. And so in the doomsday scenario, theoretically, right, during a Fed rate cut and a fall, you'd be looking for metals to rise in that environment, right? Or, right, rise in that environment. Will silver do it? It tends to follow with gold, but gold is kind of the leader, right? I often think of silver. Silver is often deemed in the stacking community as the poor man's gold. That's what it's called. And it's kind of like, for those who were here in 2017, it was all about Litecoin is the silver to Bitcoin's gold, right? Kind of like that. Right. I own gold. I own silver. They're my hedges against that type of environment happening, right? But it's not that I own them cheering for the environment at all. But that environment of cutting is not positive for the stock market, but is for gold and for silver. And those tend to be the signal that the end of the stock market has happened. Jonas Fugalis, what did the Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was a gladiator. What? What did the Spartacus say when the lion ate his wife? Nothing. He was a gladiator. Oh, brutal, bro. Okay. Jonas, thank you. Need to talk to my wife. Wife, was that funny? I don't know. Over my head. Thank you, man. Brandon, do you think the market won't crash until the elections? Do you think the markets won't crash until after the elections? Timing it with any type of elections is also, one, timing is a fool's errand. Two, what happened in 2008? What happened in 2020? They were all crashing before the elections, right? So, and it's not to say every election year we have crashes, right? But it's also like not something to sit here and say they don't happen or they do happen. They absolutely, I mean, the great financial crisis and COVID were both during election years. So it'd just be kind of it would seem like it's still staying true to my hypothesis of the year. Like I've written, like last year, 2023, wrote out my hypothesis of the year that we're bottomed, right? But we're going to have kind of a longer drawn out year, and that it's going to be just a couple of months of excitement for 2023. 2024, it's more of like, hey, first half of the year, exciting. Second half of the year or springtime, things can get dicey throughout. And that this year is more marked with excitement, but that there's this pivotal shift that happens at some point throughout this year. You know, we can look to these things. Is this going to be accurate? Is the Fed going to come in at some point because some type of thing is going to show up and they're going to say, hey, we're doing an emergency rate cut because the market has perceived that rate cuts are going to come and that's going to be super bullish. And it's like, okay, what examples over the last 20 something years in the QE era do you have where that has happened? You have none. You're basing that off of what? Nothing, right? When the cuts end up happening, it's been emergency rate cuts begin. And that's because some type of problem has shown up. So if there's an emergency rate cut that shows up, whether that's due to corporate refinancing issues in corporate real estate, and that's going to trigger some type of contagion event to end up happening, and they start cutting, and whatever that is, we can look to past cuts, and past cuts have been those moments that have certainly been signaled that within the next few months, things have gotten ugly. So fortunate thing, like I just read and showed you, those things haven't happened yet. So if they emerge, watch out for them. Thing is, in things like this, it can sometimes show up sudden. You're not here to fearmonger you, but you know where we are in the stock market. Van Media. Hey, BCB, no question today, just love and respect. Thank you very much, Van. Very kind, thank you. The Ghosted Dingus, Stakes, Reverse Sear, or Pittsburgh? Dude, I'm gonna sound like in a dummy. I don't know Pittsburgh. I don't know. And I actually don't even sear my steaks. Right? And I cook them on propane. If you have 4 burners, turn your left 2 burners on. Put your steaks directly over the burners on high for 4 minutes on each side. Then shift your steaks over to the right side where the 2 burners are off. Stick temperature probes inside your steaks. Let them rise to 135. Take them off. Best steak ever. Thank you, the Ghosted Dingus. Ilya loves Chio. Thank you very much. Come and see Jesus. BCB, what do you call a fib that lies? A fibber. Hey, we got a good one. When you guys can work in chart jokes, there you go. You'll get it. You'll get a little bit out of me. All right, here we go. Macho Antonio. Love you, BCB. You got me through all the chaos since I started watching back in 2020. I'm considering swapping my BCH index RP. What do you think? Man, I did that one 2 years ago, brother. Good luck. I mean, it's up to you. I got a little bit, right? But like, you know, it's up to you. The whole market moves. The whole market moves. If I'm gonna let you make that call on it, right? I don't think it has any developer data, but it doesn't mean anything can't happen, right? It's an exciting time in the market. You know, maybe if it catches a runaway first or something like that, you're like, there we go, nice big runaway. Let me go ahead and swap them, maybe. But I'll let you make that call. I don't want to be the one to be like, yeah, do it, and then that one goes first, and then it comes over, and then the XRP is delayed behind that one or something like that. You're like, oh, if I swapped later, it could be either way. George Alexanderopoulos, I remember when you showed your ETH price prediction on BitBoy channel, and they thought you were nuts. Really? I don't remember doing it on BitBoy's channel. Maybe. I don't know. 4bet from fourth blind. I don't understand where it's coming from. It's simple, right? Why is the price going up? And it's because people are buying it. And why are people buying it? It's because the price is going up. Which ETH video do you refer to all the time? I searched a channel and there's 4 within the last year. Really? That are just Ethereum? I thought there was only 1. Oh, let me go find it. I'll post it in the chat. Hold on 1 second. I'll show the screenshot on here. It's a good one because we do all the wave counts in there too. I think that was like super Elliott wave focused videos. When would it have been? Maybe 8 months ago. All right, the case for more. There it is. All right, this is what it looks like. 27,000 views. Super cycle and completed Elliott wave expanded flat, the case for Ethereum. Yeah, anybody who's like, oh, BCB is a bear. All right. Here, let me get you the link. It's going to play an ad. Stop that ad. All right, there's the link in chat. Thank you, Cody. Andy Philpott gifted 10 BCB memberships. Andy, thank you very much, sir. Taylor W. Hey, BCB. I rarely catch live, but I like and watch most days. Thank you for putting so much work and data into your content. Thank you very much, Taylor. Kig, are you planning on stepping down and walking away from your channel after this run? No. You're talking about after I make my exit, right? No, the channel will morph. It'll always change. Like what that looks like then, I don't know. I'll really enjoy doing the newsletter. I'm trying to beef that up. So that one's not going anywhere, but like whether it's markets in the morning every day and that part, that probably like, no, we do this every day. Or if it reverts more to just being more like videos and we get back to being like 3 videos a week or something like that. Because right now it's almost like 1 or none. And it's always markets in the morning. And that's just from time, right? So it'll just be figured out. But yeah, I don't think people know that this is just a part of my, a major part of my life. Doing all this, blockchain backer. And I was talking... to other people about that. It becomes very different when you actually meet people in real life. And they tell you the same things. I've been watching since this, and man, you kept me level-headed through it all. And they shake your hand and they tell you that, and they're like, thank you. And it's kind of like, I'm sitting here. It's like there's 4,000 people listening to me right now. I can't fathom what that truly looks like. It's just a number on the screen. And to just sit here and just talk like I always talk and not think about it. And like, 4,000 people. 4,000 people watching. Okay, who cares? But then when you see the people in real life, and they tell you all that stuff, it's very different. So it's become an important part of who I am. So it's not like going away in any way once I do massive sells. But what that looks like then, I don't know. We'll see. Craig, I'm questioning targets for cashing in also. I was using the full fib extensions from the top of the rally prior to Bitcoin capitulation from the highs in August, December of 2018 as a target. Can you run through some targets for 88? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to pull up individual altcoins right now. But anything like didn't get exit velocity, for me, it's going to be about that entire range, the contracting triangle of 2018. If it gets that, right, it's going to be really a lot of it's going to be if this element shows up in the market. If this element, where are you? Emerges, something like this, where there's some type of distribution emerging, distribution structure happening, and you get that continuation in the altcoin market that's consistently marked the end. Whether something has hit a target or hasn't hit a target, we got to witness it very well. That marks the end no matter what. Otherwise, if it's something that gets there early or whatnot, it would be, for me, if it hasn't escaped 2018's range, then it would be an extension based on that. However, being mindful that a lot of these things do experience inflation over that many years, and looking at the market cap chart and having to do that that calculation between what the market cap is versus the actual price chart, because inflation does matter. We witnessed it in 2021 with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic, that market caps matter due to their inflation over several years. But yeah, like for XRP, it's focusing back on 2018 peak, and that this has been a crash, retrace, reaccumulation over the course of 5 or 6 years. But thank you, Craig. Jonas Fugalis, BCB. He was glad he ate her. Oh, glad he ate her. Okay. I get it. Brutal. Back to the chart jokes, Jonas. All right, Ryan Chase gets 5 BCB memberships. Ryan, thank you so much. Anthony Trujillo. All right, Ryan, you're the man. Anthony Trujillo, is today Wednesday? Is the sun shining today? LFG, Bull Run of 2024. Thank you for all your insight in the BCB course. I'm having my daughter do the course with me too. She likes it. Ah, cool. That's awesome. He was, of course, talking about bcbacker.com. Link in the description of this live stream. Sick Thinker, member for 10 months. Out of all the inventions in the past 100 years, I think the dry erase board is the most remarkable. Happy birthday, BCB. Hey, everybody. Miss you all. Wait, what? Okay, brutal. The best invention is the dry erase board because it is remarkable. Okay, happy birthday, BCB. Hey, everybody, miss you all. Sick Thinker, thank you so much, man. Hope you're doing all right. You gifted 5 BCB memberships, man. Thank you. Anthony Trujillo, right back after that, gifting out 5 as well. Thank you guys very much. Ryan Chase says, it is an honor to be on this journey with you since December of 2019. Hit the likes. Yeah, what a journey. We were looking at that just a minute ago. During COVID, the altcoin market of others was $6 billion. Total 2 at that time. What was total 2? I think we were in the 30s at that time. This was a $36 billion market. Total 2 is only 6 billion, below a trillion right now. From 32 to there. Unreal. Okay. Rena Sock. Will Bitcoin drop from here? Go ask all the big boys. Let them tell you. All right. All right, guys. That's it. Congrats. $61,000 Bitcoin. I'm an XRP loaded man right now. But I'm also an altcoin loaded man. So these are optimistic things, guys. Hopefully we see the excitement show up pretty soon. Of course, we've been watching this altcoin market for quite a while with this accumulation schematic. And so finally, we get it all showing up here. And what do you know, big surprise. There goes Bitcoin. Much more than I expected. I expected really just more of distribution to show up in there, but we're continuing to go. So congrats to the Bitcoiners, and maybe even a bigger congrats to the altcoin holders out there if this thing really gets sailing. But otherwise, guys, I will check in with all of you tomorrow. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, as Hans Loaded just said, smash that like button. If you're looking for something to do, of course, check out the newsletter over there on blockchainbacker.substack.com. Check out bcbacker.com. And otherwise, have an absolutely wonderful day. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream. Give it a thumbs up. Wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. I failed you. And that's why it was so low when I tried to play it. Okay, because of this. Okay. You guys ready? All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, it's not investment advice and I'm not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one. Sam, thank you very much. Big old super chat right there at the end. All right, that's it. Have a good one. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See ya.